They say time is the fire in which we burn. Right now, AMC, my time is running out. We leave so much unfinished in our lives. I know you understand. Welcome to another episode of Movie Dumpster Dive. We're continuing on. We're forging a path forward with our Walking Dead reaction videos, even though AMC copyright claimed one of our videos. A bogus copyright claim, I should add. That's right, AMC is abusing the copyright claim system, but that's okay. That's okay. You know, we'll let AMC be dick faces. That's just their thing. We just have to accept AMC are dick faces, and we can move on. I've moved on. Clearly, I've moved on. Come on, what are you talking about? Think I'm still mad about that? Come on. Think I'm that petty? Think I'm that narcissistic? I don't think so. But we're I guess what we'll have to do is just, we'll cut the video. I'll do my normal reaction live like I'm doing right now. And then I'll cut the video together, and if AMC claims it, then they claim it, and it's gone. I mean, my other one's still up on Odyssey, and you can watch the full reaction on Patreon. So, I don't have lawyers or anything, so there's not really a lot I can do. But, I still like the show. I love the show. I just don't like AMC. I did see the news that they're doing a new, I guess it's another spinoff. They're kind of giving away, maybe a bit too much information, right? They're saying they're doing a Maggie, I didn't watch the video because I didn't want too much spoiler info. But they're saying they're doing a Maggie Negan story set in New York City. But, once you announce that, you're pretty much announcing that neither Maggie nor Negan, unless one of them is a zombie, you're pretty much announcing that they're safe and sound for the end of the show, So, you're kind of you're kind of deflating tension, a little bit of tension. I think you did some deflating, but it could be cool. It sounds like a cool idea, but I already canceled my AMC Plus subscription, so yeah. But it could be a cool idea. I just want, would you maybe not want to wait until season 11 actually ends? Because now we know at least two of the characters, actually four. We know that four of the characters are going to be safe and sound for the rest of the show. And that was always kind of a thing about The Walking Dead, was beloved characters, people who you thought would not die, wind up dying. That's part of it. There's other aspects of the show but the surprise of killing off characters people love was also, I'm not gonna say it's part of the charm, but it's part of the it's a thing that keeps the show fresh, But now we know four of our main characters are gonna be just fine. I don't know how they wind up in New York. Maybe it's like Jason or the Muppets, and I don't remember how the Muppets got to New York. I remember how Jason got there. He climbed aboard a boat and killed two teenagers, and then floated a while until he got to another boat and killed a bunch more teenagers, and then he abandoned ship to catch the other teenagers that had abandoned that ship, and they all floated to New York. But I forget how the Muppets get to New York. I don't know if that's how Maggie and I don't know if they're going to take the Muppet route because I don't remember what the Muppet route is. The title of the show is like Isle of the Dead or something. It's pretty. I mean, like when you think of Isle, even though technically that's what Manhattan is, you don't really think of Manhattan. You know, you think more of like the video game. What was the name of the game? Dead Island or something. You think of like a tropical paradise, right? I think they should change the name of the show to Maggie and Negan Take New York. I think that would be good. Or Maggie and Negan Take Manhattan. Don't lie, you love it. Let's get into Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 12, The Lucky Ones. I remember that off the top of my head.
We talked about everything.
So you violated the Commonwealth's communication guidelines, and they decided to promote you to be Pamela Milton's assistant. Got it.
He was not happy.
God damn it.
That's her brother? Wow. They don't look much alike. So I guess we missed the part where she looked back. I thought she was weird. I thought she was a weirdo. One of those weirdos.
There's enough to do at home without having to worry about a couple of small communities in another state.
Give it a chance, Pam. I really think you might be surprised.
So the Commonwealth is expanding. I called it in the first episode at the end. I said it was it's like a hostile corporate takeover, not like a savior hostile takeover, but a corporate hostile takeover.
Care for the grand tour?
I would expect nothing less.
Okay.
Here's where the saviors burnt us down. Oh, and here's the other spot where the whisperers burnt us down. She should have brought her son. He could have done some twirling.
I've met so many communities and I still can't figure out what makes some lucky and able to fight off the world while others can't.
Yeah, that's my question. How many did he say they had? Like 50,000 people there? It couldn't have always been 50,000. We've seen they've been taking people in, so they never ran into like a gigantic zombie horde or like savior type people. Huh? I mean, I guess they are sort of the savior type people, except they don't have the physical presence, you know? They have money. What the fuck good is money in the zombie apocalypse? You know, actually in the midst of current political stuff, this one, I don't know when they filmed it, but this was also kind of predictive, if you know what I'm talking about. A superpower decides they want to make alliances with other smaller places, and they're posed by one group of other powers. Sound familiar?
Everyone's safe, so it works for now.
I'm going to pretend to be J.J. Abrams, okay? Lens flare. I'm J.J. Abrams. Lens flare.
I miss going outside the walls. I miss the freedom that we used to have.
That's what I said. Why'd you give up the freedom? I told you not to do that. Like 2 weeks ago, I said, don't do it. Don't give up the freedom. I done told you.
Pizza, ice cream, works.
I don't like Jerry wearing normal clothes either. It's weird.
Let's not pretend the obvious isn't staring us in the face. You're in over your head.
You don't know me very well.
Ooh, he challenged her. Not, I don't think that's the best negotiation tactic for her. I told you he was like Satan. He's literally trying to tempt her. With really kind of, your son can go to a concert. Whoop-de-doo. You're going to give up your freedom so your kid can go to a concert? I don't think so.
I'm leaving, Maggie. Some of the others are coming with me. And you should too.
You need to be careful who you trust.
Really? You're putting your faith in Lance Hornsby. If she'd been hanging out with him all day, she might understand. Or even just looked at him for 2 seconds. She might get it. But, well, that sucks. Now she's gonna have is the guy with the stump, the whisperer guy with the stump hand. It was caused by Aaron the Torturer.
But if your job at home starts to suffer, there will be consequences.
What is Lance's job at home anyway? Planning imposters that pretend to be people that talk to other people on radios? Is that Lance's job description? Because that's all I've seen him do, apart from be a weird psycho.
Get ready, Aaron. We are going to remake the world.
Well, that was Walking Dead season 11, episode 12, The Lucky Ones. And we see in the preview for the upcoming episode, Lance Hornsby, the man who would be king if he wasn't such a creepy Omen 3 looking motherfucker. Right? So, yeah, I mean, it was a good episode. Not as good as the last episode. Maybe better than the episode before that. And not as good as the episode before that. So I enjoyed it. We're almost up to modern politics. They kind of did explain what I was a little bit. I mean, I don't know if it was a valid explanation, but they kind of went into what I was talking about a couple of weeks ago. Like, how did the Commonwealth avoid all the pitfalls that affected everyone else? You know, like, how did the Commonwealth not run it? You know, I assume they didn't start out as always being 50,000 strong, right? So how did they avoid the pitfalls that befell everyone else? How did they not run into gigantic zombie herds that wiped out the farm in Walking Dead season 2, or at the end of season 2? How did they avoid groups like the Saviors, who, I mean, like, now they have an army because they've been pulling people in for several years and, you know, giving the job of being in the army. But I assume they didn't always have that, you know, so, and we've seen how cohesive the army was, like, at the beginning of the zombie apocalypse in the actual existing army at the time. We've seen how cohesive they were in the early episode, like season 1 of Fear the Walking Dead, you know, where they, like, towards the end, they just decide to abandon their posts, right? Which is what you would kind of imagine would happen. Like, a lot of them would be like, fuck this noise, I'm out. I got a family at home. I'm going back there to take care of them. You know, so I don't know. I don't know if the explanation of, like, oh, we just got lucky, I don't know if that really fits. Maybe, but that's also the title of the episode. So maybe they're making, like, a bigger deal out of that later. Maybe they're gonna show a little more. Maybe there's some tie-in with the Civic Republic military or whatever. I don't know, but it was a good episode. I'm glad toward the end Max kind of came around and stopped being such a bitch. Because, like, how is Eugene, you know, like, you never seen the person how is he supposed to know that it wasn't the same person? That was something that I was kind of pondering throughout the whole episode, because, you know, they started off where she's giving the backstory of her, you know, from her perspective. Mercer figured out it was her, but he never turned her in, and he protected her from getting caught. And I was wondering, like, okay, so they knew somebody was communicating over restricted channels or unmonitored channels or whatever, which, you know, presumably is prohibited. Which presumably is prohibited under their Commonwealth laws. How did they get enough information to plant this person, to plant like a fake Stephanie? You know, if they didn't know who the real if they never figured out, because Mercer protected her, if they didn't figure out who the real person was, how did they have enough information to plant the fake? You know, so I'm assuming they heard at least some of the conversations. They knew that when Eugene got there in season 10, toward the end of season 10, they knew that he, you know, was hiding how he figured out about the Commonwealth. And I was wondering at the time, like, why were they specifically singling him out? You know, they let everyone else go, and they specifically singled him out, and they were grilling him, and that is how they came up with fake Stephanie. Was he gave the name away during their interrogation. So I guess that answered that question. I was kind of wondering how they had enough information, but I guess they had just enough, and when he gave up the name, that was when they were able to, or Lance Hornsby was able to put together, you know, fake Stephanie, who is a bitch. I think I can safely say Maggie made the right choice. You know, I was encouraging her through the entire episode. Don't take the deal with Lance Hornsby, and I think she made the right choice. That is the choice I would have made. I would have said, dude, you are clearly a creepy corporate lawyer climbing asshole, and there's no fucking way that I would ever trust you with anything. So I think she clearly made the right choice. And my mind is blown that all these other Hilltop people, like the girl from the Kingdom, they're looking at Lance Hornsby and Pamela Milton too. Just look at how they're dressed. You know, and they're like, yeah, I want to be part of this. But that was kind of interesting too, because I mean, they've been doing the social, like the big current day social commentary, elites versus the common people. They've been doing that commentary, but they were really doing geopolitics in this episode, which kind of fit in, I guess a little presciently. I don't think that's a word, but kind of predictively, kind of fit in with current day stuff. I won't say what it is. I think everyone knows what I'm talking about, but there's a giant superpower that wants to expand its influence and its reach, and there's other, not superpowers, but other powers that are like, you know what? No. Get the hell out of here. You're creeping me out. So, yeah. Interesting episode. I think insofar as it handles those topics, it wasn't quite as, they have humanized to some extent, to the extent that like elite sociopath, people can be humanized. They have kind of humanized Lance Hornsby and Pamela Milton, and I appreciate that. I think that's good. I think that's good writing. I don't think you can just make them pure evil, bereft of all humanity. I think you, like, no matter how much I personally loathe like certain people, you know, you still have to make them at least like, you have to be able to comprehend their motives at least. So I think they did a good job with that, and I think they've done a good job of kind of telling this, you know, doing this socio-political commentary in, I think, a mature and you know, a mature way. Like I was making fun of the hilltop people who were deserting to go to the Commonwealth, but you know, you can understand it. You know, like if you've really been struggling, if you're desperate, you know, somebody reaches out their hand covered in, you know, like gold rings and like fancy clothes, you're gonna be like, okay, sure, I would much rather have, you know, or you might be like that. I think the most disappointing one is probably Daryl. Like, you're used to roughing it, you know. I know Daryl, I guess, is trying to do what's best for the whole, you know, the whole group, which I guess is what everyone's trying to do. But I think Maggie really nailed it. Like, none of this shit's for free. Like, if you do it, they'll expect things from you. You know, like, as you currently live, you've got freedom. You may not have, like, it may not be easy, you know, but you can kind of do whatever you want, like, within, you know, certain, like, you can't stick your arm in a zombie's mouth, you know, but outside of that, if you want to go fishing for your food, or you want to hunt for food, or you want to try and grow your food, or, you know, if you just want to sit under a tree and read a book, you can do it. But in the Commonwealth, you have obligations. You have to dress up in a waiter outfit, and you got minimum wage, you know. So I don't know. I wouldn't give it up. I can understand the impulse of especially the people that have kids that they have to take care of, you know. I understand the impulse to you know, try and bring them to what was previously considered normalcy. I was saying, I personally, if given the choice, I wouldn't do it. You know, I would have to say, fuck you, Lance Hornsby, just like AMC. Fuck both of you. So, come back next week, and I'll do another, I'll do season 11, episode 13. I'm not going to be, you know, I was trying to release these videos like day of, you know, but I'm not going to be in any hurry to put this together, because it'll probably get taken down anyway. But, yeah, like, AMC totally fucked up my chi, you know? Not cool.